now, Star Wars fans. Matt here from the Star Wars Time Show, and we are going to break down AHSOKA S1E5 Shadow Warrior in detail, so spoilers are coming, but let's have some fun, because my oh my, was that some joyous Star Wars. Alright, here we go. So, starting with the review, I just have to say this episode was fantastic through and through. From start to finish, it didn't skip a beat. I mean, this was a gift to Star Wars fans, both casual and diehard. I think the diehard are probably going to get way more out of this episode than the casuals, but hey, this is our reward for putting in the time with the Clone Wars, with Rebels, with this Mandoverse, all the property so far. This was our payoff. I don't even care what happens in episode 6, 7, and 8. I mean, obviously I do, but what we got in episode 5, Shadow Warrior, was just pure Star Wars fandom joy. I don't know what else to say. It was a religious experience, if you will. It felt like, you know, it was better than what George has put out, and I hate to say that. Dave has outpaced George Lucas at this point in time with that episode right there, with the live-action Clone Wars content. We have our heir to the Star Wars empire. I mean, we knew this. We knew Filoni's skills, but my goodness, what he was able to get out of Hayden Christensen. That is the best live-action Anakin Skywalker we have seen to date on screen. I don't care what any of you say. I know you prequel bros, you love your prequel Anakin, but the dude was so stiff. He had terrible lines. There was almost zero personality. You never felt like Hayden was given a chance to fully embody the character until now. I mean, seeing those the flashbacks or his lessons and just seeing how Hayden approached the task he was given, it was a thing of beauty. His change in between Vader and Anakin was masterful acting. I mean, just you could see it in his face. Just the way he would change his expressions was picture perfect. I also really loved how Dave kind of leaned on Jason as a narrative tool. And, you know, while we explore his force powers, he also helped the crew locate AHSOKA. I like that we're kind of stirring that pot right now. Just getting it out there right in the open that this dude is force sensitive. His father was very powerful in the force, so he has some potential. And as we saw at the end, AHSOKA definitely sees that potential in there as well. I will admit, some of the visuals with some of the Clone Wars flashbacks looked a little odd. Some of the clones looked like they ate too many donuts or something before they filmed their scene. But overall, I really appreciate the visuals of this episode. I mean, getting those callbacks to the Clone Wars, seeing young Snips, seeing warrior Snips, and then, you know, obviously the gray and white version of AHSOKA was all awesome to see. I really loved the transition to AHSOKA the White. I think those visuals with her and the Purgils, some of the best we've gotten to date in the AHSOKA series here. And really, to kind of wrap the review portion of this breakdown, we got her back. AHSOKA is reborn. She is the White. She has chosen to live. And by choosing to live, meaning she's no longer the husk of herself, the shell of herself that she turned into after she learned that Anakin, her master, her mentor, her brother, turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader. So just fantastic episode from start to finish. A true gift to fans. All right, moving into some of the top moments here, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on Anakin's lesson, because some of you may be a bit confused. But I'm going to start with the opening moment of Hu Yang kind of dropping the feels on us, sitting there all solemn and solitary, holding Sabine's helmet, just saying they never listen. I mean, you felt for the dude. I mean, Hu Yang's been a standout from episode 1, and this was a nice little emotional beat from him. I'm then going to move into the opening fight with Anakin. I mean, even the dialogue before that, where, you know, she's saying, hey, you look different, you look young, and he's like, hey, well, you look old. And then obviously we get into the beginning of his lesson of choosing to live or die. But like I said, more on that in a little bit. So next top moment is obviously right after the opening fight with Anakin, as he sends her into the first flashback. One of her first battles, the Battle of Ryloth, which was just really cool to see in live action. Again, we got the homeboy in his General Skywalker armor. We're getting Snips in her maroon get-up, one of her original outfits. You could even see, Phase 1 Rex was there, Phase 1 clones, Phase 1 501, all just awesome stuff. Which then leads into the next top moment, the Siege of Mandalore in live action. Still one of the greatest 3-episode runs from the Clone Wars animated series, the Siege of Mandalore. It was awesome to see it in the real world. Again, we got Rex speaking this time, Tem providing the voice, all the Mandalorians. It was just awesome. But that leads into the next top moment, and one I'm going to spend a bit of time on, and that is the kind of the culmination of Anakin's lesson right there at the end of the Siege of Mandalore memory. I really like that conversation, because it firmly established that, yes, this is Force Ghost Anakin, because if she was dreaming this, then he would have remembered that battle. He clearly says, I don't remember that battle. And also, remember, Jason heard a lightsaber duel. That was Force Ghost Anakin, just in case any of you are still curious. But back to his lesson. While they're sitting there talking, he's like, listen, man, or she goes, hey, but my legacy is one of death and war. And Anakin's trying to tell her, listen, you are more than that, because I, as Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, was more than that. To which Ahsoka's like, yeah, dude, you were more, but more powerful and dangerous than anyone could ever realize. And that's when Anakin figures out, like, okay, she is stuck on me becoming Vader. And she feels guilty. Not necessarily guilty that he fell, but guilty that she's associated to him. It's like she feels like she has that Vader stink. After she realized that Anakin was Vader in Twilight of the Apprentice, that's when she chose to stop living. Not physically living, but stop living as the Ahsoka we knew from the Clone Wars into the early part of Rebels. It killed her. She now had that legacy of Anakin's fall attached to her, and that ate her up inside. That's what was preventing her from living. That's why she looked so stoic for these first few episodes. That's why she didn't feel like Ahsoka, because she wasn't. Anakin's fall broke her, and she allowed it to break her. So Anakin, in this moment, in this whole episode, was letting her know, like, listen, if my fall is really what this is all about, then yeah, you need to face Vader, which is why he changed into the Vader. Fantastic transition by Hayden, by the way. And she does finally confront him and physically battles him and almost kills him. But in that moment, when she's sitting there, and I swear she had Sith eyes, she, unlike her master, overcame her fear and anger and did not cross over to the dark side, did not strike him down. And that was his lesson. Now, albeit it was very Anakin, I mean, he's very untraditional as a master, and you could argue it was an odd way to go about it, but that's what he was trying to get her to come around to. Like, listen, you should embrace your legacy. Even though I fell, I still did a lot of great things, and a lot of those great things you were a part of, and now they are a part of you. You experienced them as well. You should not just give up on life because of what I did and who I became. You need to live again. Understand that it's okay that you still have positive feelings about me as Anakin. You're allowed to love me even though I had that fall. And that's really what his lesson was about. So I'm going to wrap my top moments here with obviously getting Ahsoka the freaking White. We called it on the show. We get it. It's come to fruition. You can tell she is fully changed after her lesson with Master Skywalker. Therefore, we get the physical costume change. She is the White, just like Gandalf. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the eggs and references here. I swear this scanner Hera was using at the beginning is very similar, if not the same, that I think it was either Luke or Han in Empire Strikes Back when they're out on their patrol scanning the desert for oddities. All right, how about this? We got a fantastic little update about Princess Leia. If you listen closely, Tava said, like, listen, Senator Organic can't keep covering for us, which is great for canon. It lets us know that Leia is still in the Senate, the New Republic Senate at this point in time, but she's also still adhering to her rebel roots and helping her friends from the Star Wars Rebels series to kind of figure some things out. So this possibly could be what leads to Leia getting evicted from the Senate and ultimately forming the Resistance. So great to get that little update on the Senator. Speaking of updates, we got a fantastic drop finally. They finally spoke his name when Hu Yang was talking to Teva about Jason being Force sensitive, and he says, well, yeah, hey, his dad was a Jedi, Kanan Jarrus. So yes, finally, we got the picture last week in Harris Dash. Now we get the recognition of the dude and his Force genes. All right, so all sorts of stuff going down in the flashbacks. We get Anakin in his General Skywalker armor. We see a young Ahsoka in her maroon. We get Phase 1 clones in live action, the Battle of Ryloth in live action, or Phase 1 Rex in live action, and it doesn't stop, because then we go to the Siege of Mandalore in live action. We've got Mandalorians, we got version 2 Rex. I mean, just beautiful stuff. And then again, as a reference, Ahsoka the White is not new. So I'm assuming we have a bit of a retcon going here, because Ahsoka the White first showed up in the Star Wars Rebels epilogue, which has more or less been recreated in this show, in particular towards the end of episode 2. So it does seem like that epilogue's been retconned a little bit, but who cares? Because I think the way we saw Ahsoka the White come to be, learning to kind of let go and live again from Master Skywalker, was plenty fine, and I'm okay if we're going to retcon those 2 or 3 minutes from the Rebels epilogue. All right, everyone, there you go. Hopefully you gained some insights into this excellent episode, all of its top moments, and more importantly, Anakin's lesson. Remember, all it really was to force her to become her old self again, to get over his tragic fall, to disassociate Vader from Anakin, and to kind of give her the okay to, like, listen, you can still love me, you can still appreciate my lessons I gave to you as Anakin Skywalker in the light. That is part of your legacy. That's why you are awesome. Not what I did, all right? Get over that stuff. You just proved to yourself that you are not Vader. You did not strike me down like I did to Mace and then the Jedi Order. So fantastic stuff there. Hey, if you like this type of content, make sure to give us a sub, like this video, share it around, leave some comments, and join in with us every Tuesday on YouTube for our live stream where we break down all new Star Wars. We pregame for new Star Wars. We have a good time. All right, everyone, don't forget, there's always time for Star Wars time, and if you listen to the Star Wars Time show, the Force will be with you always.